Hello hoteliers, let's talk about how you can become a Bleisure hotel. Bleisure, he says. I suppose you're making up words over at the hotel club these days. Firstly, all words are made up. And secondly, if the word Bleisure is new to you, then let me say preemptively, you're welcome. Bleisure is a word made up, like all words, to represent the intermingling of two types of traveller into one great big exciting new market segment. That's right folks, business plus leisure equals Bleisure.
My pleasure and other people's leisure.
But who are they and where do they come from? They come from all over the world and they fall into two types. First, there's the folks that were largely unaffected by the pandemic professionally except for not being allowed to leave their houses. They found themselves working on their computers from home, and when things started bubbling up again, they rightly began to think life is too short to not be on holidays all the time.
Warm, sandy beaches and cocktails with little straw hats.
And they're right, says you. As a matter of fact, those are the very words that every hotelier ought to be thrilled to hear. For many years, hoteliers have been reliant on catching a big break when most people are on holidays. But now, these new cats want to work by day and be on holidays in the evening, and they don't want to board a plane every day at 5 p.m, so that's where you come in. There's a few reasons it should be of interest to you to get into the Bleisure marketing. Firstly, as mentioned already, but let me emphasize it here, their season is precisely when your peak season is not. The time when most of us are working and sleeping in our own boring beds is precisely the time they want to spend in your hotel. With the right kind of marketing, these are the travelers that can fill in the blanks between peaks for you. And they are the kinds that by definition have a bit of disposable income to go around. Like regular business travelers, they have a tendency to become loyal customers, return guests, if they get what they're after.
We want the finest wines available to humanity. We want them here, and we want them now.
Speaking of the business crowd, they also represent a big chunk of the Bleisure market. People who want to take some downtime before or after every evening of a business trip. Gone are the days of conferences in airport hotels and dinners to the room and home again. Studies have shown that roughly 60% of business travelers try to work some holiday time around their business trips, and over 50% of employees feel it's a great way to maintain a healthy work-life balance. But Donncha, you ask, how will I see these Bleisure travelers coming? That's easy enough. They'll be millennials and will more than likely ask about some or all of the following. Do you have workspaces? This could mean a decent desk and a swivel chair in a room, or some desks in a co-working space with unlimited coffee. Do you have a gym? Bleisure travelers tend to be into healthy living when on the road, and a gym, or the absence thereof, can be a deal breaker a lot of the time. Are there things to do in the evening? Bleisurists want nothing more than to engage in regular daytime tourism in the hours when most people are settling down in front of their TV on the days where it's appropriate to do so. Is there flexible check-in and check-out? This is crucial enough, as a lot of Bleisure travelers will often as not need to work a day before heading home, so late checkout, or checkout whenever they like, is of the essence. Now, if the answer to all of these questions wasn't a nice sincere yes, then there's every chance you're leaving money on the table. I'll dive into each a little bit more in a second, but first let me say this. If your business is on a stable foundation, then in all likelihood, you've plenty of human traffic to market to at a given time. Being marketable to the Bleisure crowd, the first crowd particularly, but the second bunch almost identically so, is a very nice notch to get on your sword. They breeze in and out respecting you and your premises, and they will recommend you to their colleagues if it all works out. So, let's make sure it works out. Time for some hot Bleisure topics.
Hot topic.
Do whatever you need to establish your place as tech-friendly. Make sure your Wi-Fi is impeccable and your own skills are up to scratch, or, failing that, ensure there's a member of your staff who doubles as your tech support.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
It's not the craziest idea either to have a few spare monitors or wireless mouses or keyboards around to rent or lend guests in need. And you should, of course, have a printer anyone can access by network to print whenever they like without asking. A lot of hotels leaning into this particular market have set aside spaces and turned them into co-workings with unlimited coffee, healthy snacks available, that kind of thing. The thing is, one doesn't simply stroll into one of these. You get access when you book at a kind of specific business rate, which leads me nicely along to my next hot topic.
Hot topic.
Build offers around this type of traveler. Whether it be business suites with particularly nice desks, spinning chairs, ergonomic management keyboards, or a former meeting room flipped into a co-working space, put it out there that you've got rates for Bleisure travelers which just happen to include the things they want access to. So tech support, gym. What's that? No gym on your property? Handily, this leads me into my next point. If you don't have a gym, partner up with a local one.
Now you're my bitch.
Make partnerships with local restaurants, tour guides, bike rentals, or, of course, gyms. Be the ambassador of Bleisure to your local economy. The local businesses, will be happy with the extra business, and you'll be happy with the extra shiny objects for your offer to dazzle the Bleisure seekers with, as well as the backlinks to your website from other sites that'll help you rank better in Google searches. Which, and you're not going to believe this, guys, leads me on to my next point.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Now, unless you want to sign up to Booking Genius and seek Bleisure travelers that way, and you'll see here a few reasons why you should not do that, you're going to want to get into the driver's seat when it comes to your own marketing. This involves learning a thing or two about SEO and writing your website copy and your blog accordingly. We've got a couple of modules on SEO over at the Hotel Club that are worth doing on the topic. The great thing about this type of traveler is it also offers the potential of word-of-mouth marketing and repeat business. Just make sure you tell them to tell people, and also that you remind them to book on your website in future for the best rates. If it's as though I've been speaking French these last 5 minutes, look at your bookings for last January and see if you couldn't have stood a few more people in-house during the week. Leaving money on the table is one thing, but leaving a whole segment of your market for your competition when ORs across the board are low, well, that's plain silly, my friends, and you just can't be silly. You follow the Hotel Club. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, please share it, please subscribe to the channel, click the little bell there so you don't miss things, and of course, head over to thehotelclub.com and subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss us when we're in town. See you next time.